I'm here.
Oh, hi, Luds.
Hi, John.
How you doing?
I'm good. We got a show tonight, right?
We do have a show tonight, 6:15 pregame.
What time's the game start, though? 7?
7 o'clock.
Pregame show, though, is different from home. It's different. We start at different times, right? Why do we start 15 minutes earlier for a home game?
I believe it's so that Owen can get down to AAC after pregame ends.
Oh, so, he likes to bring it. Yeah. He brings
why don't you just ask him? He's sitting right next to you, right?
Yeah. Hey, Owen. Oh. Owen's not here.
What's that? Hold on. Here he is.
Oh, there he is. Well, I guess the Dlls Stars pregame show is going to start without Owen tonight. Well, welcome into the show. My plant next to me, apparently not going to make it on time. And for anybody tonight, by the way, this is the Dallas Stars pregame show. Anybody, when we get into this chat thing and all the tweeting and all this other kind of stuff goes out there, can you hashtag Owen Newkirk with something that's like, hey, Owen, if you're on time, you're late? Which is a hockey reference, John. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Now, do hockey, in football, they call it Coughlin time. Tom Coughlin, former coach of the Giants and Jaguars. Yep. Coughlin time basically means like when I tell you to be here at 6:15, it means be here at 6.
When the bus leaves at 6, it's leaving at 5:55.
Yep.
And when players come, and then if they're not on 5 minutes prior to that, they're taking an Uber. We even do that with our 17 and 18-year-old kids in our team. So you would think a guy that's been in the business. I would just wonder if Owen's ever been late when he was the radio star of the Dallas Stars. What do you think?
Probably never. No. Free meal, I'm guessing, over there. So, I'm never late for a free meal. I think if Owen and I are alike in the slightest, then I would think that he also would take advantage of free meals. So,
you know what was funny is yesterday afternoon after the show, he was telling me about a story. His first year in the minors, he was late to get on the bus. And he was staying on an apartment 1 block away. The team was on the bus. The coach was on the bus. And so he had to throw some stuff together, grabbed his pillow, had to walk down the street. And when he got on the bus, the coach just looked at him and he told the coach, hey, I got to run in and get my radio equipment. So now they couldn't leave and they were already 15 minutes late. Ran in and got his stuff. And then when the trainer came up and down to hand out all the meal money, or per diem as they get, probably about $6 or $7 for a road trip at that time, the guy just passed him up. Wouldn't even give him his meal money either. I wish we were giving meal money.
So do I get a promotion, Luds, now? Is this my time to shine now?
I think this is all on you right now, John.
Can we move this up here?
There you go.
I don't have a nameplate out here, but I guess we'll place me above the plant for now. So game tonight though. Second matchup against the Predators, and Lian Bichsel making his Dallas Stars and his NHL debut, from what I understand.
The big man is in the lineup.
Matt Duchene was confused. Matt Duchene was like, I think he was up last year, wasn't he? But I think he was up and didn't actually play. But
he just came in for.
So Lian Bichsel making his debut. Your thoughts?
Are we saying Bichsel or are we saying Bichsel?
Oh, I have audio from preseason of him pronouncing his own name.
Well, let's start with that so we get it right.
Okay. Oh, it didn't work. Hold on. Geez, we're shaming Owen to start the show, and I've already messed up.
So Owen's late, and the producer
drops
not ready
within the beginning of it. Yeah, that's not going to work. I believe it's Lian. I don't know. Chat. Is it Bichsel or Bichsel? I don't remember.
I think we had this conversation in preseason.
We did.
And he actually told somebody that it was Bichsel, but you pronounce it differently. He goes, just say Bichsel. That's what everybody calls me, Bick, or something like that. Well, I don't know why they wouldn't call him Bish.
Patrice Bergeron's last name is Cleary Bergeron, but when he was a rookie, he was just like, yeah, we're not doing that. Like, it's going to be a pain in the ass.
Why do we have to go to a Boston thing right away?
So we're, Aaliyah says 2
Do you have that sound?
Sorry, say that again.
Oh, wait. Okay, so Wait, who's this for? Oh, this year against the Predators.
Maverick Bourque made his debut, I believe, in the first game against the Predators. So here's the defensive lines, though, Lud. So I think Bichsel is expected to play with, at least according to what Owen sent me, which Owen, not super
Why do we
reliable,
trust anything Owen's doing tonight?
Expected to play with Thomas Harley. So thoughts on Bichsel's debut? Thoughts on playing with Harley?
That is probably the perfect spot for him because he is supposed to be, and it appears that he's going to be one of these big stay-at-home. Oh, we're being graced by somebody's presence here over here. But he should be this big stay-at-home guy, and I think to play with a guy like Thomas Harley, who likes to get up and run, it would be very similar to playing with Dlls. Oh, hey, you want to come on in? Well, I don't know. We're having a good conversation. Better one than we normally have. At least this one. Yeah, see, exactly. This plant doesn't do that.
I'm going floating head in your seat right
now. By the way,
now,
folks, he's here. And just remember what I said about hashtags tonight. Yeah, come on in. Come on in.
My head's there anyway.
Welcome yourself here. Hi, guys. In your baby blue trousers, which is embarrassing enough that you're late, but now you're wearing that. That's been sitting there all day.
Oh, well, Leo's referring to Oscar Beck, not Mav. Mav played in the playoffs last year.
Who did?
Maverick Bourque played in the playoffs last year.
Oh, okay.
So she's referring to Oscar Beck.
Hi, John.
Nope. You have to be on time in order to have your face
okay,
be
listen,
on the show.
First of all, this right here is in honor of our fallen compadre who is sick tonight, Sam Nessler. He left this on the bench up in Frisco at Comerica Center because he had to leave during the first couple minutes of the third period. And the
other night?
Last night.
Oh, okay.
He was playing in my beer league team. He was subbing for us last night. And all of a sudden, he said he had to go to the bathroom or something.
And he never showed up?
Halfway through the third period, everyone goes, where'd Sam go? Did he have to leave? Because one of our teammates tweaked his knee and left after the second period. So we were like dropping like flies. Well, he didn't feel so good. And he's trying to feel better. He left this. So I brought it. And so
Sam's on IR.
We got a plant for me.
Owen's AWOL. Sean's in Belize. It's just John and I holding the fort down.
I think Sean's got it figured out.
Yeah. So how many? What are we doing, host? What do you want to talk about?
You want to just complain about how awful Dallas traffic is? And
I don't know. I was here at 5-ish, 5:05.
Yeah, that didn't work out for me. All right. What have you talked about? Because I don't want to rehash all the things that you and the
we were talking about discussed. You being late for the most part.
We played all the clips already.
The irony is that the extra time I took to get those clips is probably what, in addition to traffic.
Oh.
Yeah. So, you ready?
We did talk about you being late for a bus when you were in the minors or something like that.
Yeah, that was the story I told you yesterday.
Yeah, I had to share
You remembered it.
I had to share it.
I'm
pretty much
that you did.
I told him you forgot your per diem or didn't get your per diem and you were running down the street in a pillow.
By the way, you said he gave it to me later. They did not.
Oh, okay.
No, I had to.
You were listening?
No.
You didn't even tune in that you're late and driving here?
No. You told me yesterday.
No, I know, but you didn't even tune in and listen to the beginning of the show?
I didn't want to get into an accident.
Owen does use Siri when he drives to text me. I can confirm that.
All right, well, let's get on with the show.
All right, let's get to it.
Let's start with scoring chances.
That's
later.
You want to start over? Should we assume that nobody's heard a thing?
We basically got 10 seconds into Lud's saying what he thinks about Lian Bichsel making his debut. And
yeah, we were arguing. Is
Thomas
that,
Harley,
are we
and
saying,
then
okay, we're struggling with this.
No,
or Bichsel? No, he wants Bichsel.
There you go. He said Bish.
We talked to him in preseason.
Okay.
He wants Bichsel. Right. So Bichel's going to play his NHL debut tonight. Let's get right to the clips. He was asked about how he's played so far in Texas, and he has a quote that Luddy will love.
I think good. We knew I knew it's tough to play in the AHL, so I simplified my game, played hard, pissed some guys off, and I had fun. So no, I think the first 20, 25 games, were great.
I was there in Detroit, or in Traverse City when you were playing Detroit, and it seemed like you enjoyed that. I think the entire arena was booing you that particular night when you hit one of the Detroit players. Yeah. And you do like that. It seems like you like to piss people off.
I do, yeah. No, I think it's the emotion in the game, and I just enjoy playing hockey. That way as well, and it's fun with the guys. Traverse City, now in the AHL. I mean, if you have a good group, it's even more fun. Yeah.
Think about that, Luds. I had to clip that because what did he say? Piss some people off. And so Heike followed up. That's why I kept the question in And he said, seems like you enjoy doing that. He goes, yeah, I like that emotion in hockey.
Well, at least he knows his own identity. I mean, that's part of the
he knows
scenario.
Exactly who he is.
Yeah, he knows who he is and what he's supposed to do, and I think that's why they kind of sent him down there and let him get his feet wet at that level, and then come up here. And I think the important thing for him tonight is to try not to do too much. I mean, just be who you are, and you're a big, strong, steady guy. He skates well for a big guy, as we've seen. He's got a long reach, so I think he needs to start with good outlet passes and defending the right way, and obviously play physical. And I would say with that size and the way he can be mobile, but probably move people, I would think he needs to be a presence in front of his own net.
Well, it's interesting that you mention how he should play, because the next question that he faced, and I'm going to have some clips from DeBoer and Duchesne about him as well, but he was asked if coming to North America was particularly challenging, and he said no.
I wouldn't say so, no. I mean, of course, it's different. Every league is different. The SHL, if I play in Switzerland, all the leagues are different. So it's for sure the smaller ice. That was an adaptation, but the rest, it's in the end, it's hockey. You have to learn quick and fast, and I think I did a good job in that.
Did anybody ever ask him the big ice to smaller ice?
He basically,
I was just curious if.
Yeah, he just said it's an adaptation.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's faster. I got to work on it.
Yeah, things happen quicker here, And the other thing is like when you are coming behind the net and you're looking for an outlet pass, things close off quicker.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You may have another second or two on the bigger ice, and there's more space to get pucks to people. So the windows that you see to make the lanes and the passes close down a little quicker here. But again, he's obviously doing well, and he's been playing down there. So the ice is the same size there as it is here.
And he did play with the Texas Stars last year until December 1st. So he did have a month and a half or so of AHL experience prior to this season. So it's not his first foray. He just spent the rest of last year in Sweden on a run that nobody would expect in their playoffs. They were a team that barely got in. They got a play-in win, and then they didn't lose until they got to the final. I mean, they went on an unbelievable run, and then they got beat in the championship round.
The only thing I think may be a little bit different, even since he played a preseason game, is the speed and the quickness. Now you're a little bit into the season now. The timing is better with everybody in all 32 teams, and things happen quicker. Their systems are starting to get in place. So we'll see how I don't know, maybe there's nothing.
Yeah.
But I would think there'll be a couple challenges with a couple guys that are a little quicker here.
Well, interesting, too, is that usually the NHL, it's part of the CBA, travels your parents in for your NHL debut. Not the case with Lian Bichsel because of the distance and the short turnaround.
Parents, are they going to be here? No. Do they watch at home? What time would they be watching?
Probably at 3 or 4 in the morning. It was just too short to fly them here. But for sure, they are very proud and sitting at home, yeah.
I was going to say, is that still pretty cool? For them to be sitting at home at 3 in the morning watching their son?
Of course, like all my friends and family members will watch the game, and for sure it's something special for my brothers, for my whole family, my dad, and it's great.
Does anybody stay up late to watch your AHL games online?
My dad has watched every game.
Every game?
So, no, he played handball. He knows what's it take to play pro. And no, he's been watching all the games.
Does he call you afterwards?
I call him the next morning when he's working again. So can joke about the game. So no, it's fun.
I love that. His dad watches every game. It's, by the way, 7 hours time difference. So puck drop tonight will be at 3 a.m. in Switzerland, and I know that feeling from my own personal experience with my dad and how much he was a fan of what I was doing. It's such a cool thing that he's able to then call and talk to him about it later. I know that he would love to have his family in Dallas tonight, but is that a bad thing that he's just playing his game?
No, because when your parents are there, and especially if it's your first game. Yeah, as you're the coaching staff probably telling him just do the simple things and this stuff like that. Sometimes when your dad is there, your mom's there, you're trying to do some special things that they've probably already seen him do. And so I think it's better that he just kind of settles in for a few games and then they can fly him in later on.
Well, Matt Duchesne was one of the guys that did camera work today in the Stars dressing room, and he was asked about Bichsel making his NHL debut.
I actually thought he played a game, but I guess you're right, he hasn't. So yeah, but I think he was up last year in playoffs maybe and didn't play. Yeah. So I actually thought he had played. No, I mean it's special. I mean it's a dream come true, right? You work your whole life to play in this league, and you get to play your first one. I mean, that's something you never forget, no matter how it goes. And it doesn't even matter how it goes, really. I mean, it's just the fact that you got to achieve your dream, and I'm sure he'll play great, and hopefully we get a win, and he can, remember that forever. But he will either way. So it's one of those ones you want to, hopefully make it special for him, but it will be no matter what.
And Luds, you always ask me, like, when I get clips together, you go, why did you do it? What's the purpose of it? Well, in that one, you'll remember it no matter whether it's a good debut or a bad debut or anywhere in between, because it's your first game.
Well, and it's okay to remember the bad ones if you go on to have a nice long career. If you never get to play again.
Career.
Yeah, if you have one of those kind of careers. But yeah, you don't want it to get off to a bad start, and then you don't ever get in there. We don't expect that from this kid. So yeah, it's going to be a talking point, but hopefully it's a good one, and it's to sit around someday and have a few beers with your buddies.
So I didn't see anything from Dumba. I didn't go back and watch the game to see. Did you see anything?
I've seen nothing.
So they somebody that works for the Stars that I talked to said that they saw that it looked like Dumba had a pretty nasty shiner after the game. Some sort of black eye or something, or a bruise somewhere in the face. I don't remember that happening, but he's out tonight. They had him do more, they called pictures, so some sort of evaluations, exams, and they're still trying to determine what's going on and how long it's going to be.
You know what it could be? It just keep one of those drive-bys where you're in traffic and you're actually trying to, and again, when you're following your guy around, you're not paying attention to everything that's going on. You're concerned about this guy, and if you just kind of turn for a second to find someone, he may have just gotten clipped like that. So obviously there's something there. Otherwise they're not going through this stuff. But and again, one guy's misfortune is another guy's hopefully big fortune.
I was just laughing because as you were answering, I was thinking about the plant sitting here going, it was probably just as much fun, wasn't it?
Oh, we had a better conversation. Yeah, I know. Well, nobody kept interrupting and playing clips and talking about high danger chances. It was awesome.
We're going to do it again because Pete DeBoer was asked, why Lian Bichsel now? Why not Brendan Smith, who's been out for a bunch of games, basically since the Chicago game? He's been a healthy scratch. Why not Alexander Petrovic, who's come up and played fine? Why Bichsel?
When you look at his path, I thought he came in, I thought he had an outstanding training camp and an exhibition series for us. Was knocking on the door in camp for a job with his play. And I think, they did the right thing and sent him down and got him some more experience. And from all the reports down there, he's been very good. So, I think with him, it was just a matter of time. And, it just happens there's an opportunity here now, and he's taken all the right steps in order to be here.
2 years ago, when Pete DeBoer was the first-year head coach of the Dallas Stars, Thomas Harley didn't have a particularly good training camp and got sent down. He didn't come up until after game 60. I can't remember the exact game, but it was last month or two of the regular season. Was great and made the playoff roster. At the time he got called up, I remember it was either Pete or Jim, maybe both, said, we've been unbelievably healthy on the back end. Remember, Ryan Suter was playing a ton, and Essa and Miro, and they just didn't need a call-up. And, of course, Yanni Hakanpää was playing, and he was healthy. And they said, we expected to have to call up Thomas Harley much, much sooner than we did. We were really fortunate with health. This is kind of the time frame they thought Harley would get called up, somewhere in that December-January window that Bichsel is now, because injuries happen. It's not always the case that you get through 4 or 5 months of the regular season relatively unscathed.
I'm thinking that Thomas may have benefited even more by being there because of the type of defenseman that he is, because he's a guy that likes to get up in the play. He likes to dangle the puck. And I think that when he was playing at that level, and he was obviously, a level above those guys, but he could kind of get his timing on things, and he got away with things. And most importantly, it was probably his confidence that he was able to, because he didn't jump into doing the things that we're seeing now.
No.
But there were the glimpses of what he could do. And now, obviously, he's a confident player, and he gets up involved. And I've said I think he's a defenseman that has the most ability, touch, scoring, passing, once he gets, below the tops of the circles in the offensive zone than anybody else on this team. So for Bichsel, I guess, again, Bichsel.
We're working on it.
We're going to work on it.
Trying to reprogram the brains to not say Bichsel.
It's okay for him to come up this time because he's not necessarily that typical that kind of style of a player that I know of, that we know of right now. He's going to be more of what we talked about, the big guy. Now you can run into them guys down there and you can hold them guys up down there and you can probably stop a lot of them in their tracks. Now it's a different level. Not only just because they're bigger, and again, it's not like back in the day bigger, but they're bigger, but now they're stronger and they're faster. And we'll see. And maybe his biggest issue is going to be dealing with the smaller player, just because of little water bugs like the Stankovens and guys like that. We'll see how he handles some from the other side tonight.
Perfect. It's like I set him up. Let's hear Pete DeBoer talk about Lian Bichsel's playing style.
He's a big man, but he's also got a really good skill level. And the word that I always find myself using when I watch him is poised with the puck, which is rare, for any young defenseman. Never mind a guy that size. He has that confidence to hang on to the puck. Maybe because of his size, he's not worried about getting run over. He'll hold it for an extra second, draw somebody in. He's got good vision, makes a really good pass. And for me, that's probably the biggest thing with defensemen now. I mean, he can make up for some of his gap and things like that with his size and reach. So he's a good skater, but his size and reach allow him to be a little bit off in some of those areas and still recover. But you have to be able to make plays with the puck under pressure at this level if you're going to play and be an effective player, and he has that ability.
6'7", 231 is his official listing on the Stars roster. And I thought that comment that Pete made about he maybe can hang on to it a little longer because he's not afraid of getting run over because of his hulking size was really interesting.
Not only that, but it's on the other side. When you're a physical guy and you have that size, you get an extra second on the forecheck. There's guys that when they'll find a way, if you become that kind of player, and the Darian Hatcher type guys come to mind with me, is what was nice for Hatch is when guys are dumping the puck in and they dump it in behind Hatch or a bigger guy that likes to be physical, they find a convenient way not to be first onto the puck. They don't want to be sandwiched between that player and the board. So, and then the other thing that they'll do is they'll dump it on the other side. So when they have to forecheck, because when you watch players that don't want to forecheck, and if you watch closely, they take this kind of a crossover going to the opposite side that they actually should go. And it's like they on purpose got there late, so I didn't have to go first. And so if he's going to be that kind of player with the ability that he has, obviously, and the skill and be able to make these passes, he will be able to make good passes because you get that extra second to, like you said, get your head up, take a look around. The whole key for that for a young player or any player is to be able to know where your outlets are even before you get back to the puck. Look around as you're going back and you have some kind of an idea.
So one more thing from Pete, and this is about how he intends to play Bichsel tonight, because he was asked if he was going to get any special teams time, who he's going to play with, and I have the lineup, warm-up lines for you in just a second. But here's Pete.
Today we're just going to ease him in. It's his first game, so we'll ease him in. We're probably not going to give him much special teams. I think it's just get your feet wet and get used to it, and then we'll start to build it from there.
You like that idea?
Yeah, I mean, let's not throw him into the deep end of the pool right away. What I would do is, I mean, if the game goes the way that obviously Dallas wants it to go, or even if it goes the other way for any reason, and there's a lead one way or the other, you may see him get out there on the PK. I think that it would be nice to see him with that long reach in his size and play in front of the net.
All right, John, let's show before we get back to the clips, let's show the Stars lineup tonight, starting with the forwards. No changes, same group up front. I asked Pete about that yesterday. Obviously, with Tyler Seguin out long-term, they don't have as many options. He confirmed what we were talking about with PD the other day, that part of coaching is talking about and wearing out the magnets every single day and talking about different combinations. But he also likes a little bit of continuity and see where they're going. Now let's take a look at the defense. And this was a guess from my part. They're actually going to play as you would think would make sense. Bichsel on his strong side. He's going to be on the left. They're going to play Harley with Heiskanen, the pairing that they used in the playoffs last year, and Ilya Lyubushkin will play on the right side, allowing Bichsel to play on his left. Your thoughts about that?
Well, I think it may have something to do with the team that they're playing too. You know, I mean, they're loading up their top line, I'm assuming, and you got Stammer playing up there in the middle of the ice. I don't know. I think what Pete may do, because you saw Harley and Heiskanen get up against top lines last year. You're at home. You've got last change. I think you can kind of manage your pairs a little easier at home.
Is that another reason why Bichsel gets the call up now? Because they're playing the team with the worst record in the NHL?
No.
If they were playing Colorado or if they were playing Winnipeg, is Bichsel, is he getting this call up versus Petrovic?
When you say it like that, I would say, if you're playing against Colorado, first guy that comes to mind is McKinnon. If you're playing against Edmonton, it's that other guy, 97, and you're playing on the road. Then I'd go, nah, maybe not.
Because you can't shelter him.
Well, you can't. And again, the guys on the other side are going to go, well, we got a young kid here. Let's see if we can get him out there as much as you can. Let's see where he is. So, but at home, like I said, I don't know if it really is the opponent as much. I don't think that as much. I think it's at home. You have the ability now to put them out there when you want and take them off when you need to, and those guys will be able to judge how they're running their lines and the rotations. They know who's up. Alain will know who's coming up next, and they may pop a guys in and out just so that he gets them up right people he wants to be out against.
Let's take a look at Nashville for a minute. Their forward group, Ryan O'Reilly is back in the lineup for the first time since December 4th, so it's been just a little under 10 days. It's the 12th today, so it's 8 or 9 days for him. Jeremy Lauzon missed a lot more. He was out from prior to Thanksgiving. He's back tonight. As you can see, they're not going to put O'Reilly right on that top line the way they lined up at the beginning of the year, where they had Forsberg with O'Reilly and Nyquist. They've got Stamkos in the middle. He had been playing on the left wing with Marchessault and Novak. That was day one of the season for Nashville, and the Stars beat them. Now let's look at the defense, and you have to notice who's missing. Yeah. Romanjosi injured Tuesday against Calgary. He will not play tonight. Kevin Gravel is the captain of the AHL's Milwaukee Admirals. He gets called up and goes right into that line with Adam Wilsby, who I've never seen play before, Nick Blankenberg, and Delgazio. None of those three were on the NHL roster when the Stars played them on the first day of the regular season. But I saw Josi this morning. He was down at the event level. He didn't skate. He was doing some, calisthenic exercise. He did some single-legged squats with yoga balls. He's working with a trainer. So he's on the trip, but he's not playing tonight. And what kind of a loss is it for Josi to be out of an already bad team like Nashville?
Yeah, you're talking about probably spending a lot more time in your own zone. Obviously, Josi, one of the best defensemen in the league. He's got the ability to pick the puck up in his own end. He makes great outlet passes, but he lugs the puck up the ice himself. And then he adds to the offense at the other end. They're going to miss him on the power play. I with the speed that we know Dallas has, I'm thinking you're across the way there. They're going, oh, man, this could be a long night for that decor. And I think if Dallas is not turning pucks over at that offensive blue line, there should be a lot of extended offensive zone time with cycles and chances and second chances at the net tonight.
John, pop up the forwards for the Nashville Predators again, if you would please. They do not have Jeremy Lauzon. He skated this morning. He is not playing, still on IR. He will not play. So Cole Smith will play, and Leds, they're shifting around. They're going to go with Forsberg, Stamkos, and Marchessault as their top line. Nyquist on the left with O'Reilly and Sissons as their second. And then the Jankowski, Novak, Evangelista line, and then Smith, McCarron, and L'Or. I don't even know if I said that right. My French is brutal.
That's what I had.
But you had it. You see, you're on top of it. Yeah. But Justus Annunen will get the start, not UC Saros. Saros stayed out late this morning. Nobody said anything, not even the coaching staff. So there was no announcement of a starter this morning for Nashville. My hunch was, based on seeing Saros late, that he wasn't going to play. But it wasn't until the warm-up did we actually find out. It was Nashville a little slow play tonight. I don't think that surprises the Stars, though.
The only thing that would concern me is that the good guys tonight aren't thinking the way that I'm thinking right now, because I'm thinking they're going to be all over them. Yep. And I mean, again, the good news is Dallas is looking at the standings, and they're seeing where the standings are and the couple games in hand and what we can do and how we can, continue to climb the ladder here and get our game together. So I would expect Dallas to, again, I can see the first period putting up 17, 18, close to 20 shots in the first period.
I'm glad you mentioned that. So here's Pete DeBoer on facing a bad Nashville team.
Well, I reminded our guys, I thought on opening night, they arguably were the better team. We found a way to win that game, but they played a real good hockey game. I know that's a while ago, but for me, they're still a dangerous team. They've still got the foundation players there that have been there for years, that have won a lot of hockey games and know how to win, and they always play well against us. So, we can't take their record or their recent record for granted. Well,
they are really bad. They've lost 4 in a row. They're winless in 8, 0-5-3, being outscored by a 27-14 margin. That's a -13 over 8 games. They have 1 power play goal in their last 8 games during that span. That's 4.8%. They have the worst record in the NHL. They have the league's top-rated penalty kill at 87.1%, but that's been leaky. In the last 8 games, they've given up power play goals in 6 of those. It's all bad. So Luddy says expect a big first period. That's what Pete said they really have to do.
I've been on the other side of this before. All coaches have. And, if you can plant some seeds of doubt early with teams that are a little bit fragile, that always helps. So our start's got to be quick, and we've got to be ready to play. If you let a team like that hang around, I think they get more confidence as the game goes on.
Yeah.
So think about that. Chicago got a couple early goals.
Mm-hmm.
Casey DeSmith made 2 mistakes. First shot of the game, and then the pass, which was stolen, and Taylor Hall scored. And that bred life into a otherwise very fragile team. Pete does not want the Stars to do that tonight with the Preds.
Exactly. And so he's got things to lean on. And again, he's going to use all these other things that we've been talking about to motivate his guys and say why this isn't going to happen tonight. And again, I just think that where they're at, it's not like they were Winnipeg when they were on a 15-game winning streak, right? I mean, you're kind of doing some of this and you're getting your game together. This is an opportunity, start of a nice, homestand here. You got your fans here. You got a way to get out in front of it. That top line that you just said that they put together, and this is how their problems are.
Which would be
Forsberg, Stamkos, and Nyquist.
Well, they're going to have Marchessault.
They're going to have Marchessault up there now, right?
Yep.
So they've got all their eggs in that one basket. And
Nyquist will be with O'Reilly and Sissons as a second
They got
line.
some big money players up there. They got Stamkos and Marchessault they brought in here. That group of 3 that they're going to have the other night have a total of 6 goals in their last 10 games.
Really?
6 goals in their last 10 games. So that, just when you think of Stamkos and Marchessault, and that's where this team is at. So you have to give them a reason early tonight to be able to go, oh, here we go again.
Now, before we wrap up, because we are going a little long, but I was a little late, so with traffic, we'll give you a little bit more. You had a request of showing a couple of charts that you pulled up from the NHL Edge stats.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
And so I didn't want to forget that because, hey, when you make the effort, we make the effort.
Well, it's just, again, it's some
ahead, John.
comparison here just from the 2 teams. And when you look at...
Lads, I've got Preds on one and Stars on the other.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at the shooting percentages and look at where the high danger places and the goals that are being scored and not being scored for Nashville. It's ridiculous. And look at them all. On the right-hand side, it's got below 50th. In other words, they're near the bottom of the barrel
on
in
all
the league.
categories.
In all categories. I mean, and then Dallas, they're obviously better. But you can see the difference in what you've got tonight. And this is in the thing that I look at in the Nashville thing. Those are in the high danger areas,
yes,
and in the mid-range areas. And they're below in all of them. And it just tells you they're not getting to those areas either. I think when they put this team together, they're just trying to pass the puck around. Now they're just trying to figure out what do we do next.
And you said with the Stars going in, not just today, but they haven't been great at getting to those spots all the time. But when they do, just like usually, good things happen.
We've seen here in Dallas when the lines were kind of, mixed and take out the Duchesne line, there were other guys that weren't getting there. We've seen it on the power play where it wasn't clicking because there were so many good players on the ice. They're trying to get everybody to touch the puck. And I think that's what was happening to this team early. They were going to tic-tac toe it right in the net, and it didn't work out. And now they're searching for something to work.
So you thought you might see pretty high intensity attack in the first period. What's your prediction tonight, Stars, Preds, and how this starts to play out?
Well, it's going to be a fast game. I mean, I think it's going to be a fast game on Dallas' side, and I think it's going to be on the other side, because I just think Dallas is going to use their speed, obviously, and they're going to be able to probably play a little tic-tac-toe. Not that I recommend it, but they'll be able to do it against that decor.
Now, they lost to Calgary. Nashville did on Tuesday. Stars had a couple days off. They had the lead 2-1 and 3-2 and coughed up the third period lead and lost in regulation. They've lost 4 in a row. They haven't won in their last 8.
Are they due? They've been due for 24 games.
Are they due, or are they just so fragile right now?
They're fragile. And that's why Pete's talking the way he is. Like, guys, let's get the right start. Let's put in the first 40 minutes or so, and then maybe we can have a little fun for once in a hockey game. You don't really have a lot of fun in games. You know, everybody's trying to pin you down and do all the right things. Let's just take care of the first 20, take care of the first 5, and then the first period. Let's see where we go from there. Maybe we do. Maybe Bichsel gets out there on a power play and a penalty kill. Maybe, this happens here or there. So it might be one of those games you can enjoy. But again, will before skill, and you got to put the work in first.
I didn't clip it, but at practice yesterday, Sam asked a question for you, and he said, you've been talking about identity. Obviously, he didn't use the word foundation, but he said identity. He goes, what would you define as the Stars' identity? So I'll get that clip for you. It's from yesterday, and maybe next week we'll play it so you can see whether you agree and like what Pete had to say about what he sees as the pillars of the Stars' plan.
Love it.
Until then, it's game time. Go watch it on Victory Plus. We'll be here for the post-game show. Make sure you find us on YouTube. It'll be Luddy, myself, John, maybe a couple plants. Who can say?
Game time.
Get ready, boys.
We all silly like the mayor.